people. Miss Nelson is here with you again with another exciting lesson. If you are not here yet, get over here on the knowledge deck. Now, last week we learned about earthquakes, how earthquakes happen, and what are some of the things that we need to do to ensure that we are safe during earthquakes. Today, we are going to be talking about tsunamis. Do you know what a tsunami is? Have no fear. Miss Nelson is here. After this lesson, you will be able to say, what is a tsunami? How are tsunami waves different from regular waves? And what are the series of actions that lead up to a tsunami caused by an earthquake? We will also be exploring what are some of the dangers of tsunamis. Are you excited? Oh, I am excited and ready to go. So let's go. Now let us talk a little about tsunami. A tsunami is a giant water wave or a series of waves in motion, meaning these waves are moving. These waves are huge and they can be disastrous, covering people, animals, and even buildings. I know you may be wondering, what causes a tsunami? That's actually a very good question. A tsunami can be caused by an earthquake, a volcano, or any kind of underwater disturbance. Now, in the case of an earthquake causing a tsunami, as we discussed in last week's lesson, tectonic plates are what continents sit on. Now, as they move, there are times when they may move against each other. In this case, one tectonic plate is moving below the other and they come close enough to touch each other, causing what's called a friction. And as that friction is happening between the tectonic plates, it causes a pressure to build up as one tectonic plate may bend against each other. Now, when they can no longer hold that pressure, then the energy is released. When that energy is released, that energy is actually what causes those giant water waves that we call tsunami. Now, let's go over into our lab and see exactly how that happens underwater. Let's go.
So here we've got a bigger submarine version of what's going on. Now this gives a representation of what's been happening 24 kilometres below the ocean surface in the Japan Trench. Now these things work in what they call a stick-slip way. Most of the time they're stuck, but occasionally they slip, and that's what an earthquake is. So we've got it here, this is bent up here. It's full of pent-up energy waiting to slip. Now when the slip happens, that energy gets released into the ocean, causing a series of tsunami waves, moving in both directions across the Pacific.
Come back, move! Oh my god,
Now we will be discussing the differences between tsunami waves and normal wind waves. As you have seen in the video just now, tsunami waves are huge waves. At the end of this discussion, you should be able to tell which of these waves represent a tsunami wave and which of these waves represent normal wind waves. Here we go with the differences. Tsunami waves are different from normal wind waves in terms of the source of energy. Wind waves are caused by wind blowing over the water, whereas tsunami waves are caused by large and sudden displacements of the ocean, usually due to an earthquake below or near the ocean floor. Another difference is in terms of frequency. Wind waves arrive at the shore every few seconds, while tsunami waves arrive minutes or hours apart. A third difference is the wavelength and speed. Tsunami waves have longer wavelengths and travel faster than normal wind waves. Now, which of these waves do you think represent a tsunami wave? Now we will talk about the dangers of tsunamis. As you have seen up to this point, a tsunami can be very dangerous. It comes with massive force that can cause significant damage to humans, animals, as well as to properties or to buildings. Its currents are usually very strong and often lead to rapid flooding on land. It is also very destructive to boats, vehicles, and as we said before, to anything that comes in its path. It can cause serious injuries and even loss of life. And there are also long-lasting effects felt beyond the coastline. It takes a country a very long time to recover from some of the damages caused by tsunami.